Battlefield server browser is a big reason why Battlefield was the so-called sandbox FPS at some point. As FPS genre moves forward into the future, it's unfortunately leaving things in the past which made us enjoy the genre in the first place. For many years, Battlefield managed to defy the regular SBMM systems that we find across the world in other first-person shooter games now, and keep the server browser experience until Battlefield 2042, when they tried to bring Battlefield into the modern age. I'm here to discuss the reasons why we need to return to the classic system. My name is Ace, welcome back to another Battlefield video. When Battlefield 2042 alpha test came out and there was all the major issues with the game that people did not enjoy, the first thing I personally saw when I played its alpha was that there is now a matchmaking system in place. When I saw that I can't actually pick the map I want to play or find a server from one of the usual providers I've played on in the older Battlefield games, I figured, well, it's just an alpha test and we can only play Orbital anyway, so I guess the server browser either comes on launch or later down the line. I might be in the minority here as someone who was a victim of many bad memes back in the day before Battlefield 2042 came around. I thought that just having a good matchmaker with plenty options to choose like what map I want to play, game mode or player size was okay with me at the time, as it eliminated the need for server admins and the grip on the player base. In Hardline, for example, a game I had very much fun casually where I just played with my girlfriend, and randoms was taken away from me 1 month after launch of the game because the game was not liked by many people and there naturally was not many servers, and the few that existed got rid of me very quick. From there on, I started to see maybe why other games just have matchmaking. It felt terrible to be on the receiving end of the admin abuse. I just want to point out that by that point I did not know about SBMM and EOMM and all the other curated fake cancer experiences we have in all other games except Battlefield. I was a true Battlefield one-trick pony, oblivious to the horrors outside of our little Battlefield bubble. When Battlefield 1 came out, we still had a server browser, but it seemed DICE heard the plight of people who got targeted by badmins and actually released also their own official server so you can just play there. Now listen, official servers were nothing new, we had them in the old games as well, but they eventually vanished over time, while today they still exist in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. It's the reason why I can still play Battlefield 1 today. I thought this was a pretty solid solution to the admin abuse issue from the past, and did not see any reason to push things further. I was okay with Battlefield 1 server browser. So they solved a big issue for me, and it kept all the good stuff from the old server browsers like map choice, game size, game mode and all this other stuff. BF1 was at that point also their most sold Battlefield game of all time. I think it still even is today. And then Battlefield 2042 came around the corner and for some reason they felt the need to go the matchmaking route. Even if it's without all the Call of Duty bullshit in it that we know of today. But one has to wonder why. Why with the matchmaker if you aren't including SBMM and EOMM in it? Isn't that the whole point of matchmaking in shooters? I felt like they just went for the matchmaking just for the sake of a Battlefield game having matchmaking rather than actually trying to manipulate our experience. Still, it was a bizarre decision because we could not pick maps we wanted to play on, for example. We lost a big positive from the server browser and gained basically nothing from the matchmaker. Nothing. Just a quick reminder guys, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving me a like, comment and subscribe for future Battlefield content. Thank you so much. The server browser also served as something clans or platoons could use as well, to grow the communities for example, like TBG clan or Super Infantry clan from BF3 and BF4 era. I think this was a pretty important part of the server browser experience since we lost Battlelog. Now the actual servers themselves served as some type of makeshift social hub. If you really enjoyed one of the servers, you would join their websites or TeamSpeaks, whatever, right, and just be a part of the Battlefield community. You got your server to play on every day, you have your new buddies from the website to chill with, and it's a win-win scenario for you and the server owners. And in the grand picture, this all served Battlefield very well. With the introduction of the matchmaking system, yeah, this was mostly eliminated. Like, yeah, I'm sure people might play with people they met on some of the servers back in the day, even in Battlefield 2042, but it's still a shell of its former self, at least in my opinion. So we moved into this completely robotic behavior from Call of Duty and these curated games where we mostly just play solo and have basically no means in-game to join any type of community. I think this was a pretty big part of what made Battlefield special, and the matchmaker stole that identity. The matchmaker also stole our sandbox as well, the one thing Battlefield always got praised for. Play any mode and map you want. Well, not anymore, now you have to queue, and if you don't like the map, well, too bad. You either play or you leave, leaving at complete mercy of total randomness, and this gets annoying very quick. And Battlefield 2042 was not the only 32 versus 32 game pulling out the matchmaker. Last year's release Delta Force did the exact same thing and faced the same problems. No communities, can't pick your maps, and they even went a step further and just added Call of Duty SBMM and EOMM inside the 32 vs 32 experience as well, and yeah, it felt terrible. I'm actually quite thankful that Delta Force happened because it showed how horrible matchmaking can be, much worse than what we experienced in Battlefield 2042, and it should serve as a stark reminder what happens when companies expand on matchmaking in a Battlefield-style mode, and it sucks. So my point here is server browser issues got addressed by DICE and improved the experience, while matchmaking can only get worse the more you put in it. Here is something to think about. 3 games at the top of my head that did not have matchmaking and are considered the greatest games of all time. 1. Battlefield 3. 2. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Counter-Strike Source. And here are 3 matchmaking games at the top of my head. Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Delta Force. So, you see my point here. I think the chance of the next Battlefield game being truly great without server browser is gonna be very, very hard. And what sucks is that it would be making it hard on itself for absolutely no reason. Battlefield 2042 went into the same trap, among other issues of course, not wanted matchmaking and not wanted specialists, making the game worse than what it would be without them initially anyway. Battlefield can only live as the famed sandbox game with server browser uniting us rather than the robotic matchmaking like I'm standing in the line of a generic supermarket waiting for my turn of the same predictable encounter. Matchmaking can burn in hell from whence it spawned and not bring the next Battlefield game with it. I really hope they learned a lesson with Battlefield 2042 because my god, there is a lot at stake here. This could very well be the last Battlefield game if it fails. I feel like we made it well known to them that server browser is of grave importance. If they opt to go without it again, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I guess we can hope that if the gameplay is truly great, that we can at least have some type of a map filter as the bare minimum. Eventually time will tell what we are getting in the next Battlefield game, but I really hope they go with the server browser this time around. We are on the advantage here in my opinion. We have Battlefield 2042 and Delta Force as very good examples of why the matchmaker doesn't work in these types of games. And with the Battlefield Labs coming out soon, I hope, I will see then what happens there. The people who are playing Battlefield Labs, maybe we see some leaks of people playing it and they can immediately tell us, is there matchmaking or did they join a server to play it? On the older Battlefield alphas, all of them except Battlefield 2042, when I joined them, I could just join a server and play there and test the game on closed alphas. So if that's the case with Battlefield 6 or whatever they're gonna end up calling the game, I think that's a good sign. If they can join a server, that probably means that there is no matchmaking. Because when I played the Battlefield 2042 alpha test in the summer super early back then in 2020 or whatever that was during COVID, there was matchmaking immediately. And that's what we ended up getting. So at least we will have the answers, in my opinion, very soon with Battlefield Labs. Perhaps I'm the problem. Maybe I'm just the 34-year-old unk who doesn't know how to move on with the times or to get good in matchmaking on SBMM, on EOMM, competing with all the Zoomers that are flying around the map, who have, you know, aim assists on their controllers, who have fucking wall hacks as Luna. Maybe it's me who's the problem. I don't know. Am I the problem, guys? You let me know in the comment section. How do you feel about server browser and matchmaker? Do you don't care so long as the game is good and you're gonna adapt to everything? I will tell you, I will adapt if the game is good and we have matchmaking. If there is just a map filter, I will adapt, of course I will. I mean, I've played other matchmaking games. I was Diamond in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I was Global Elite in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. You know, I've done all the matchmaking 5v5 games, so yes, I will adapt to it. I just still believe that at that point, if that happens, it's just not gonna be Battlefield. It's just gonna be a competitive, like, rank type game, just with more players on the server. That's it. And that's just not the Battlefield I know, and I really hope that the majority of the player base feels the same way. Because if they don't, we might be majorly fucked here. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please leave me a like and a sub, and a comment for the algo, of course. And subscribe for future content, because I will be posting Battlefield very often. I post 2 to 3 videos a week, and don't plan on stopping anytime soon, especially when the new game is out. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.